Hello and welcome to Dendrobium Orchids. Today I thought let's have a look at my two little Dendrobiums that are spiking at the moment. First one is my pride and joy. It's my Dendrobium harveyanum. The buds are starting to show 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 buds on that spike. I bloomed it for the first time in July 2019. I bought it at the start of the season in 2019, I thought. And it spiked and bloomed in July. It didn't have a good root system then. That cane, and this cane were the only canes it had, so I shouldn't have let it bloom, but it was going to be, and it became my first ever reblooming on any orchid. And I can say that is my harveyanum is the first ever reblooming on any orchid I grown so far. So I couldn't take the spike off, but I've set it back quite a bit. As you can see, that teeny tiny cane was the one it grew then. After a couple months of doing nothing, then it grew that one, and then it grew the latest one. So you can see the size difference. So why am I letting it bloom now? Well, one, because the blooms are so bloody gorgeous. It's my favorite bloom I ever seen on an orchid, and big difference with last year. Still haven't repotted it, but so there's still a bit of fungus in, but it now has a root system. And I just noticed there on the top of that bulb a tiny spike as well. I will remove that one because that is a bit too much in my eyes. But, oh, I'm happy it's going to bloom again. It grew those little canes. It stood still for 2, 3, maybe 4 months again, and suddenly it decided to spike. So I guess it will be shutting down after the blooms before it will shoot up again. But I'm quite happy with this. Quite happy. I'm very happy. I'm going to enjoy the harveyanum blooms again. The buds are growing fast, if I remember from last year, and when they start to open, they all open within a day or so. So I really love it. Then my next one, my Dendrobium Niep Snowflake, which is a cross between Nora Tokanaga crossed with aberrans and crossed back to aberrans again. And Nora Tokanaga is a cross between Atroviolatium and Rhodostictum, if I write. But it's in fact 75% aberrans. This growth is coming on. There's another new growth here. There it is. Oh, watch out for the other. There it is. Growing root tips. So it's doing everything at the moment. And when I make my life in the living grow room video, it wasn't in spike yet. Oh well, I'll take a moment. The garbage truck is passing by. And I'm back, that's better. But it started to spike, and it's spiking everywhere. These two canes to the left now, I grew myself. And there's a spike. There's a spike. Is it spiking inside? Not yet. Then the other cane it grew this season. Come on, focus. that has a spike. And man, where's the light gone? Oh, that has one spike. That's an old cane with a spike. Look at the two left canes. You can see those little yellowish nubbins. I think they will grow into spikes too. On the other side it's the same. Look at, there's a little nubbin that has a spike between that leaf. There's a spike. I grew this little cane. That was the first cane it grew for me. That has a spike. A spike on an older. That's the most advanced now. And there's a cane in the center shot. There's a cane growing in the middle of that leaf. That cane didn't bloom last year, so it's coming in bloom now. There's two canes in that one. There's a cane. There's a cane. So it's gonna be quite a show. Let's see if I can count them. 1, 2, 3. Yes. 4. 5. 1 on this one. 6. That cane. 8. 9. 10. About 10 spikes. And those no ones, I think they will bloom too. So maybe the same amount to come yet, but at least 10 spikes. So that's great. That's gonna be quite a show. They are smallish blooms, but with 10 spikes coming, it will be a show. Yeah, that's great. I care for them both in the same way. It's very well visible here. When the cane just shrivels that tiny amount, that's when I water it. It's due of water because it's dry now, as you can see. It needs a little water. But that's the time I'll give it a good soak. For this one the same. You can see slightly shriveling on the canes, on the a bit older canes. That's when I give them a good soak. I have a nice little tray. If I fill it with water, I'll put them both in, and it's especially great for this Latouria one, because they don't like their new growths to get wet. But the water stops here. I water it from the front, so everything gets moist. But if I fill it up for the soak, it ends here. The same for this one. They all, so the base of the canes don't get soggy. That's what Latouria types really dislike. And that's how I care for them. Like, when they're in growth, just as Roger always says, when in growth, feed and water well. If not, don't. Yeah, do water, but don't feed. So that's what I do. And I wait until the canes shrivel a little bit. This one is due, or they should have been done yesterday. This is a bit too much for my liking. But that's how I take care of these dendrobiums. is not to kill off any roots or make them go soggy. Well, I hope you all have a nice weekend. I hope to see you soon on the next video. Thanks for all the recent new subscribers that subscribed because of the Orchid Show or because they like my videos. Well, thanks a lot for that. If you haven't subscribed yet but still here, please subscribe, because if you hold it out for more than 8 minutes with me, why shouldn't you subscribe? And I'll see you on the next time. Have a nice weekend. Houdoe.